HP Pavilion x360 LTE 2020 model review. 4G LTE support above average audio and webcam, 3 USB ports, HDMI port, and full-size SD card slot. It is big, hefty, and taped one jet set processors. It is losing a millimeter or two at 0.74 by 12.8 by 8.7 inches. The HP is also a hair thinner than the last year's version, but at 3.55 pounds it's slighter overweight than the Lenovo Flex, and the Acer Spin 3 are 3.3 pounds each, and the LG Grand 14 2-in-1 a feathery 2.53 pounds will likely hold the Pavilion in your lap instead of your hands in tablet mode. The system bolsters is 256 gigabytes of NVMe SSD with 16 gigabytes of Intel Optane memory. It carries 8 gigabytes of RAM and a quad-core 1 Hz Intel Core i5 1035G1 processor, as well as the 14-inch touch screen with Full HD 1920 by 1080 pixel resolutions to hinges let for the display in the laptop, tablet, and easel configurations. The screen wobbles just a bit when you tap in a laptop mode, and there will be some flashes in your grasp the screen corners or press the keyboard deck. HP continues to play with the contrasting colors in a way that sets its systems apart from the run-of-the-mill notebooks. A dark brushed metal keyboard and a palm brush to offset the convertible silver finish. It's a chrome HP logo centered in the lid. Concave edges help you open the laptop with one hinges. You will find a 3.2 Type A ports, USBs, and an audio jack or a headphone jack on the Pavilion's left side, as mentioned before. And another USB Type A port joins a USB Type C port, and HDMI video output, and an SD card slot along with a SIM slot, and a connector for the AC adapter on the right, as mentioned before. Sound and selfies. The webcam offers ordinary 720p resolution, but better than average color and clarities in its image. It was very easy to find pattern of the shirts, unruly strands of the hair of a person's, and the screen is very vivid, not that vivid. Colors are present but don't pop up. The touch overlays glass gives and a mirror-like sheen that can reflect room lighting, but contrast is decent, and white backgrounds are indeed white. Stream viewabilities. Outdoors will be a challenge. I could wish some more extra brightness. HP rates the display at 25 0 250 nits through a sunnier 400 nits panel is an option, as mentioned in the before. That said, that the off center viewing angles are broad in the test which I have done test unit display and fine details look sharp. This time the trackpad is also very comfortable, good size, buttonless. Touchpad glides and taps smoothly left and right clicks. Just take a right amount of pressure and scrolling, and gestures are precise. The Windows 10 Home softwares below include a McAfee Live Safe Trial and a Dropbox, Booking.com, and ExpressVPN promotions. SP back the convertible with 1 year warranties. I compared the Pavilion's performance numbers to those of the four other convertibles in the previous live streams, as whoever watched they can understand from there. The picture in picture is also available in the live streams. Also, here I'm just talking it verbally. So the HP Pavilion X360 14 LTE was compared with the Acer Spin 3, HP Envy X360 13, Lenovo IdeaPad Flex 514, Lenovo Yoga C740 14. So I will be showing these performance which was then the live stream right now as a slideshow. So we can check it out right now. I compare the Pavilion's performance numbers to those of the four other convertibles. The SS Pen 3 Lenovo Yoga C 74 and Lenovo IdeaPad Flexify 14 have 14-inch screens. HP's NVX360 has a 13.3 um inch panel. You can see the basic specs in the table over there in your screen. Productivity and media test will be coming soon after the test system configurations over there. HP Pavilion x360 14 LTE 2020 over the Intel Core i5 1035G1 1GHz processor with Intel UHD graphics and 8 GB of RAM with 256 GB of SSD. Productivity and media test. PC Mark 10 and the 8 are Holocaust performance suits developed by the PC benchmarks specialist UL, formerly Future Mark. The PC Mark 10 test we ran simulates different real world productivity and content creation workflow. We use it to assess overall system performance for office-centric tasks like the word processing, spreadsheet, wrestling, web browsing, and video conferencing. The PC Mark 8 meanwhile has storage subtests that we use to assess the speed of the system but drive while the yield. A proprietary numeric score higher numbers are the best or the PC Mark productivity and the storage over there. Let's go to the next one. Here we have the HP Pen X360 14 with the LTE over there, the LTE option for the budget laptop. We have the HP Pen X360 with the PC Mark 8, 4804, 84 with PC Mark 10. Overall score is 3992 over there. And going to the Cinex Badge R15 over there. Before that, let's go to the previous one. This is the PC Mark productivity. Now the Pavilion x360, which has a whisker shot of the 4000 points that we consider excellent PC Mark 10. It joined the other SSD based convertibles and breaching the that we consider excellent in PC Mark 10. It joins the other SSD-based convertibles in breaching these PC Mark 8 through the subtest storage cementing its status as a solid productivity partner. Next is the Maxon's CPU crunching Sinbatch R15 test, which has fully threatened that to make the use of all the available processor cores and threads. Sinbad stresses the CPU rather than the GPU to render a complex image. The result is a proprietary score indicating a PC's suitability for processing the intensive workload. The Sinbad is often a good predictor of our handbrake video editing this benchmark in which we put a stopwatch on systems as the strangler of a brief movie from 4K resolution down to the 1080p. It too is a tough test for multi-core, multi-threaded CPUs. Load times are the best. So in the AC in which R15 we have the HP Pavilion X360 as the lowest. So all the core settings of the Zenbatch R15 higher is the best. So Lenovo IdeaPad is the best in this. Worst is the HP Pavilion X360 14 LTE, but it is best. Not among these. In the HPs, also it's a little more better. It's good. Um, Then we have the handbrake 1.1.1. The AMD Ryzen 5 powered Idea Pad and the NV dominated these events, while the Pavilion landed at the back of the pack. It's fine for the routine spreadsheets, but unlikely to be mistaken for a workstation style media editing or rendering machines. We also run a custom adapter for editing, image editing, the benchmark using an early 2018 release of the Creative Cloud version of the Photoshop over there. Uh, we have the Creative Cloud version of the Photoshop over there. We have the we apply a series of 10 complex filters and effects to a standard GPA test over there. We apply a series of 10 complex filters and effects to a standard GPG test image. We time each operation and add up the total over time to the best. The Photoshop test stresses the CPU storage subsystem and the RAM, but it can also take advantage of most GPUs to speed up the processor of applying. HP Pavilion x360 is the highest among these, but lower is the best. So HP Pavilion x360, where it should be the best, it became the worst. But still, HP Pavilion x360 is 14 LTE has 25, but not good. 25 minutes. Lower is the best because in minutes, which is faster, the time will be less. So Lenovo IdeaPad is the best. IdeaFlex 5 14. Then we have the Photoshop CC over there, the Pavilion, and the Pen Trail here too. So they will only keep you waiting an extra few seconds for Photoshop filter or editing operations. Occasional image touch ups will be upon the Ryzen 4000 series based laptops once again set the price. Let's go to the graphics test 3D mark. 3D mark measures. We have the relative graphics muscle by the rendering sequence of by the digital gaming stars that emphasize the particles and lighting. We run two different 3D mark success, Sky Diver and the Fire Strike over there, but both are direct X11 benchmarks, but Sky Diver is more suited to the laptops and mid-range PCs, while Fire Strike is more demanding and lets high-end PCs and gaming right struck this stuff. Going to the next one, the rise and found the indicator radar graphics. Solutions led the system with the Intel UHD integrated graphics, but even they are crushed by gaming with the laptops with dedicated GPUs. All these convertibles are still strictly for the casual or the browser-based games not demanding the 3D titles. Next up is the synthetic Eugene superposition graphics test the time for the Eugene code like the 3D mark, the superposition and test over there is renders and pans the through a detailed 3D mark scene. This one rendered in the eponymous Eugene the engine for a second opinion on the machine's graphical prowess. We present to a precision results run at the 720p low and 1080p high presets and reported frames per second FPS over there. We have indicating how smooth the scenes look in the motions. This gaming simulator defeated the laptop just as the 3D Mark did, as just as the real games would. Again, these machines are an indicator for the gamers. You may make some decent plays with their radiance at the 720p and low settings, but even that it is a stretch for anything beyond casual games. Let's go to the battery rundown test as the video rundown battery test. After fully recharging the laptop, we set up the machine and power save mode as opposed to the balance or the higher performance mode were available and make a few other battery conserving tweaks in preparation for our unplugged video rundown test. We also turn Wi-Fi off, putting the laptop into the airplane mode. In this test, we look a video, a locality store 720p files of the Blender Foundation's short films like the Tears of Steel. Ice cream brightness set at the 50% and the volume at 100% until the system quits. The yeah, HP Pavilion x360 higher is the best. So in this Lenovo idea flex is a little more higher, but the HP Pavilion x360 is the lowest among these, so not good in this. HP Pavilion x360 14 LTE 2029 minutes, hours, and 40 minutes. Pavilion X360 will get you through a fully workday over here on a chart, even if its rank time is a few hours short of what we like to see in this class of systems. Coming to a solid enough choice in a crowded fields, the Pavilion X14 LTE doesn't have the star wattage of HP Spectres or the Elite Dragonfly portables, but it's a lot of more affordable. And this year's additions of the mobile broadband helps it stay competitive in the bustling market segments. If it were slightly quicker, it would be an editor's choice contender. But it has plenty to recommend it, especially if you need a budget option that can work away from Wi-Fi. Going to the pros of the laptop, we have the 4G LTE support, above average audio and webcam, 3 USB ports, HDMI port, and full-size SD card slot. Going to the cons of the laptop, we have a bit hefty, tepid 1 GB processor. Bottom line, the always connected convenience of the LTE broadband left HP's good looking, affordable 14-inch Pavilion X360 convertible laptop. So this was the live of the HP Pavilion SS60 2020 model, the LTE version. So it has the LTE in a budget-friendly laptop is great, excellent trackpad and the keyboard, but it's extremely sluggish at times and RAM and storage cannot be upgradable and bloatware is pre-installed. So let's go more in depth of this laptop. Let's go to the display quality. Also, it is great. The display is also better than the last year's model. Let's go to the display. It has 267 nits, 66% of sRGB, 50% of Adobe RGB, 49% of DCI, P3, 2.3 gamma, 8100K, and 0.26 black levels, 1040 by 1 contrast, BOE 0868 panel. Let's talk about the port selection one more time so that it can be clear. One USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type C port, USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type A port, two of them, and one HDMI 2.0, and one AC Smart pin, and one 3.5 combo audio jack, and one SD card reader. Hope you all will understand the ports. The price as configured is $599, and in HP we get $599, and from other sites we get $699. Let's clearly talk about the specs in depth. Intel Core i5-1035G1, 1 GHz base frequency up to 3.6 GHz with Intel Turbo Boost technology, 6 MB L3 cache, 4 cores. Intel USD graphics, 14-inch diagonally FSD IPS micro edge WLED backlight multi-touch, enable edge glass, 1920 by 1080p XL and 250 nits. There's options till 400 nits and 45% NTSC. Body size is 12.76 by 8.70 by 0.74 inches, of 3.55 pounds, of 1.6 kilograms, 8 gigabytes DDR4 3200 SD RAM, 1 into 8 gigabytes, and storage Intel SSD 256 gigabytes, 16 gigabytes Intel Optane memory is also available, and Intel XMM 7360 LTE Advanced Cat 9, Intel Wireless AC 9461 802.11 A by B by G by N by AC 1 into 1, and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5 combo. Battery is 3 cell and 43 watt Leon 45 watt smart AC power adapter, supports battery fast charge approximately 50% in 45 minutes, and ports I have already done twice in this video. And webcam is HP wide vision HD camera with integrated dual array digital microphone, audio by Bang & Olufsen, which is dual speakers, and natural silver can be get in other models if you purchase it from different places sites. Price is $529 in HP, and as tested it is like that, but we can get Best Buy $499 $519 in eBay, and overstock $539.59 in overstock, and HP we get 529, and in other HP we get $539.99. Without cellular connectivity, this model is $699. It starts at $529 with the Core i3, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and 128 gigabytes of storage. And for $1249, you can get a Core i7 1065G7, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 512 gigabytes of SSD. The keyboard is fun as well, although interestingly it's not a backlight this time around. This could be a deal breaker for some since it's a pretty standard feature. Again, a big part of the PC in this tire is about making compromises and making the right compromises. However, I don't think I would agree that this was the right compromise. I've recently been reviewing some NV laptop, which is NV x360 13 and NV x360 15 before I've done. It's not feel big lacking when compared to NVs. There's no much resistance behind the keys. They just feel light. In itself, the keyboard is just fine aside from the lack of backlight. I have just seen HP do better. And the trackpad is also so wide compared to other laptops. The depth of the keys is pretty average for the consumer HP laptop, which is so safe, fairly shallow. You will notice that the power button is included in the top of the left of the keyboards, following HP trend of putting everything in the keyboard. One thing missing, however, is a fingerprint scanner. In fact, there's no Windows Hello at all on this laptop. I don't know. The last time I reviewed the laptop, the HP Spectre, the HP Pavilion X360's 2019 model. I don't know the last time which I have unboxed and reviewed without IR camera or the fingerprint sensor. That includes last year's the Pavilion X360, as mentioned before. The trackpad uses the Microsoft Precision drivers, as all the laptops showed up until recently, though the HP didn't, so it's not a given. I also appreciate that HP used just about all the real estate it could do on the trackpad, making it as big as possible, and I appreciate this um, specific upgradable than the last year's. More about what I like and I don't like about this laptop is that attractive build, quality keyboard is great to tap on, solid core performance, strong performance with 10 gen Intel CPUs, solid audios, screen is bland and muted, I don't like that, lacks power delivery, average Wi-Fi transfer rates, battery won't last throughout a workday, slow SATA SSDs.